Welcome back to Coins Numismatic Series, where rare coins aren't just described, they come alive. If you're holding a 1952 wheat penny in fine condition or hoping to find one in your pocket change, this is the deep dive you've been waiting for. Let's start the excitement because this small copper coin has become a quiet treasure in the world of US cents. The 1952 wheat penny may appear simple at first sight, just another Lincoln cent minted during the post-war boom. But hidden behind that copper glow is a storyline that stretches across American history. By 1952, the United States was moving toward stability after World War II and the early years of the Korean War. Factories were running at full force, and the demand for coinage was high. Yet despite large annual mintages across the country, the San Francisco Mint had already begun scaling back production. This makes every S-Mint coin from this era more interesting, especially the 1952 S. Collectors today recognize this as one of the later classic wheat pennies to carry the iconic S-Mint mark before it disappeared from Lincoln cents for many years. The coin becomes even more appealing when found in fine condition, where the wheat ears remain visible, Lincoln's facial features are clear, and the surfaces, though worn, still show full character. These traits make it an attractive collectible that balances affordability with meaningful historical value. What truly elevates the 1952 wheat penny is the moment you realize how its design connects to America's numismatic legacy. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln still stands tall more than 4 decades after first appearing in 1909. The design was revolutionary at the time for placing a real person, a U.S. president, on circulating coinage. By 1952, the portrait had become symbolic, representing integrity, leadership, and national unity. Even in fine condition, collectors can appreciate the details of Lincoln's profile, the curvature of the cheek, the hairline, and the structure of the bow tie. The word liberty sits to the left, reminding Americans of the importance of freedom, while the date 1952 alongside the distinct S-Mint mark tells us exactly where the coin began its journey. The San Francisco Mint, a facility known for sharp strikes and lower mintages. Turning the coin over, the reverse design captures the final era of the wheat cent. The 2 wheat stalks symbolize agricultural strength, prosperity, and the nation's growth. They frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, presenting one of the most iconic designs in American coinage history. Even in fine condition, the wheat ears retain visible lines, a detail collectors always check. The motto E pluribus unum arcs across the top, linking the coin to its classical origins and the enduring idea of unity. For new collectors, these details help build appreciation. For experienced numismatists, the 1952 S reverse holds nostalgia. A final reminder of the design that ended in 1958 before the Lincoln Memorial reverse took over. When discussing the value of the 1952 S wheat penny, condition becomes key. In fine condition, the coin is circulated but still presentable, with most design elements visible. Millions of these coins were produced, approximately 137 million, which is a moderately high mintage for its time, yet significantly lower than many Philadelphia or Denver issues of the early 1950s. Despite these large numbers, surviving specimens in higher grade conditions slowly become scarcer every year due to metal degradation, mishandling, and loss over time. This creates a natural sense of rarity for collectors seeking solid examples. In today's market, a 1952 S wheat penny in fine condition holds steady monetary value, typically ranging between a modest amount for circulated examples and rising substantially for higher grades such as AU or mint state coins. But for collectors, the attraction goes beyond the price chart. The 1952 S often fills important album slots. Completing a full wheat penny set is a long-term challenge, and the S-Mint issues from the 1940s and 1950s are essential stepping stones in that journey. Many collectors remember the thrill of finally adding this coin into its place, completing sequences like 1949 S through 1955 S, one of the most satisfying runs in numismatic collecting. Errors and varieties also play an exciting role in elevating interest in this coin. While the 1952 S wheat penny is not known for dramatic or extremely rare major errors, it does feature several minor varieties and striking anomalies that collectors enjoy searching for. These include die chips around the date or mint mark, small breaks in the wheat lines on the reverse caused by late-state dies, and misaligned strikes that create off-center appearances. Even subtle repunched mint marks, though not excessively common, are prized when they appear. These varieties may not command massive premiums in fine condition, but they heighten the excitement for collectors who love the thrill of discovery. A small die crack or repunched S-mark can transform an ordinary penny into a more desirable collectible. Fine condition holds its own charm because the wear tells a story. These coins circulated through grocery stores, factories, gas stations, train depots, and everyday American life. Every smooth surface reflects decades of hands exchanging goods, paying for essentials, and carrying old memories. When a viewer holds their own 1952 S in fine condition, they're holding history. They're holding a fragment of American life frozen in time. And for many collectors around the world, that is priceless. Another fascinating element of the 1952 S wheat penny is its place in the end chapters of San Francisco minting for wheat cents. By the mid-1950s, San Francisco's production of circulating coinage was gradually phasing out, making these later S-mint wheat cents feel like the last echoes of an era. The mint would eventually stop striking cents for circulation entirely, leaving collectors with a finite window of S-marked wheat pennies. This historical context adds meaning. The 1952 S becomes not just a coin but part of a transition, a turning point in the story of American minting. Collectors often debate which 1950 S wheat pennies show the best strike quality, and the 1952 S generally performs well in this regard. Although some coins exhibit slightly softer strikes due to worn dies or production speeds, the majority were minted with clear details, making them visually appealing even after circulation. In fine condition, many still show respectable clarity in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks. This consistent strike quality enhances collector confidence, making the 1952 S an easy recommendation for those building mid-grade collections. As coin collecting continues evolving, interest in wheat cents remains strong, especially for coins with clear mint marks and historical timelines. The 1952 S, being affordable yet meaningful, is often a gateway coin for new collectors taking their first steps into wheat penny collecting. For more advanced collectors, its value lies in completing entire sets, studying die varieties, or upgrading to higher grades over time. Dealers appreciate this coin because it retains steady demand. Hobbyists enjoy it because it is attainable yet rich with history. And longtime collectors cherish it because it represents the legacy of the San Francisco Mint. When evaluating a 1952 S in fine condition, collectors generally look for several indicators. Lincoln's jawline and cheek should still be visible. The lettering should remain clear and readable with minimal blending into the fields. The wheat stalk should show defined outlines, though the inner lines may be worn. The S mint mark should remain crisp, as softness in this area can affect desirability. Light surface marks are common and acceptable in fine grade, but large dents or corrosion reduce value. The color also matters. Smooth, even brown or chocolate tones are preferred over coins with heavy discoloration or environmental damage. Another point that adds to the romance of coin collecting is the concept of provenance. Even though most circulated 1952 S pennies have unknown histories, collectors love imagining the possibilities. Who used it? Where did it travel? How did it survive this long? That mystery fuels the emotional connection collectors feel toward wheat pennies. And when viewers discover their own 1952 S in a family coin jar or inherited collection, that feeling becomes even stronger. In fine condition, the coin is also ideal for educational displays and presentations because the design elements remain visible, making it easy to explain the symbolism of the wheat stalks, the purpose of mint marks, and the evolution of Lincoln cent designs. Teachers, historians, and numismatic enthusiasts alike enjoy using mid-grade wheat pennies for demonstrations, bringing history into classrooms and coin clubs across the world. The economic value of the coin may not reach into extraordinary heights in this grade, but its sentimental, historical, and collectible value remains compelling. And for some collectors, the journey of upgrading becomes a hobby itself. They may begin with a fine condition 1952 S, then later seek a very fine example, then an extremely fine, and eventually an uncirculated specimen with blazing original luster. This progression keeps the hobby exciting. Another aspect that can't be overlooked is the enduring appeal of the Wheat Penny series. Collectors across generations admire its symmetry, its symbolism, its simplicity, and its historical significance. The 1952 S falls within the late Wheat Penny era, and because it is not overly expensive, collectors enjoy the satisfaction of completing entire runs without overwhelming financial burden. It is a coin that offers value, history, and beauty all in one. The 1952 wheat penny stands today as a timeless collectible, one that bridges the gap between affordability and significance. Whether viewers have it in fine condition or are planning to search for one, they now understand why this coin continues to attract collectors worldwide. It is the perfect representation of mid-century minting, American heritage, reliable craftsmanship, and the emotional satisfaction of owning a piece of the past. Every detail, from the wheat stalks to the mint mark, tells part of that story. And as we wrap up this script, the excitement remains. This small copper coin has enriched collections, sparked discoveries, and carried the history of a nation through decades of change. For collectors watching today's video, their 1952 wheat penny in fine condition may be more meaningful than ever. Thank you for joining Coins Numismatic Series for this deep dive into one of the most admired wheat pennies of the 1950s.